This is Gareth Southgate, and this is the Three Lions podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Three Lions podcast. My name is Russell Osborne and this is an independent England football supporters podcast. Hello there. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Thanks once again for joining me. Had lots of great messages throughout the tournament so far. It's always great to hear from you or even people coming up and saying they tune in whilst being out in Germany. It's very humbling, but thank you. I just want a quick special shout out to Chris with a K. Now, it's been a while since I fully invested in an overseas tournament. If I'm honest, I'd forgotten how tiring they can be. I didn't go to Qatar, and obviously the last Euros were fairly home-based for us. I'm not going to count the Nations League finals of 2019 because really that was only 2 games in Portugal. But Russia 2018, I only went to 1 game there. I then have to go back to France 2016 for the last one where I'd done all the games. And I was 8 years younger then. But now I'm remembering just how shattered I felt. Tournaments, they take it out of you. Whether you're staying out there, whether you're moving between towns and cities, whether you're going back and forth as I've been doing, or doing a mixture of both. It's the travelling, the games, the weather, the drinking, should you choose to. Not that I'm looking for sympathy. I'll make my own bed, as this is what I've chosen to do, as have many others. But I don't know. Perhaps there should be a name for it. Tournament syndrome or Euros fatigue. It's not just the players who put the effort in, you know. I guess what I'm saying is to those that maybe dream of seeing England in a tournament, this is actually what it can be like. It's tiring. And I know when I'm tired as my eyelids twitch. So if I'm having a chat with you and you notice my twitching eyelid, I'm crackered. I'm tired. I need my bed. That's the reason. I still can't believe that Slovakia game and the manner in which it all changed. How closely we were to going out. People have rightly compared it to David Platt's goal against Belgium in 1990. Yeah, I can see that. Looking back, I felt it almost had a similar feel to Wales in Lens 2016, that last-minute goal from Sturridge. And then got me on a little sort of rabbit hole trying to remember some other late goals for England. Adam Lallana against Slovakia. This may be a future episode. Late England goals. Let me know if you can think of any others. I saw a video of England fans outside the ground when Bellingham scored that equaliser, scurrying back in. They'd left early when there was, other than the performance, very little reason to do so, unless they, I don't know, do you want to try and beat the crowds when you're abroad? I'll stop short of not calling them real fans, but come on, you can't leave then expect to be able to rejoin the party. You've made your choice. I don't think I've ever left early. Those are the moments we go for, aren't they? How cringeworthy would it feel when in, 10, 15 years' time, your child says to you, "Dad, you were there in Gelsenkirchen, weren't you, when Bellingham scored?" Well, actually, son, let me tell you, I'd left my seat. I had no faith in the team. I was outside. Then I heard the crowd cheer and I had to rush back in. Yeah, I looked really stupid. In fact, you can see how stupid I looked because that's me, caught on camera on YouTube. Justice. I hope you spent a fortune on your tickets and your transport, because to be honest, you look like rats running back up a drain pipe. Sorry. I don't generally like to talk politics here, but we can't get away from the fact that we've had a general election on the 4th of July. Some would say the mood of the nation has changed, has lifted. I wonder if that mood will transfer to the pitch in this game. I spoke with Craig King on the last episode. He is a Swiss football expert. You can go tune in to hear that in full. But he said the Swiss like to up their game for the bigger opponents. But let's not worry about them. Let's just concentrate on ourselves. We are without Mark Gay after he picked up a second yellow card in that game against Slovakia, which now really does force Gareth's hand. Does Dunk come in as a replacement, or will it be Konsa? Will we switch to 3 at the back? Or will Luke Shaw finally make an appearance? Other players on a yellow include Jude Bellingham, Kobe Mainoo, Phil Foden, Conor Gallagher and Kieran Trippier. However, fear not, as even if they pick up another, they can't miss any potential semi-final, as they are wiped after this game against Switzerland, although obviously a red card would mean they'd miss the next game. And I have to be honest, how Gallagher has only the one surprises me. The amount of fouls he's given away, he is running a fine line. But John Stones, you may have seen, was pictured wearing a strap-in around his knee in training. Hopefully nothing serious there. I mentioned Jude Bellingham, just want to go back on him. He's actually been under investigation by UEFA for a gesture that no doubt you've seen. He claimed it was a joke between players on the Slovak bench, but there's been a point where UEFA have threatened to fine or suspend him. Apparently it's all to do with their principles of ethical conduct, loyalty, integrity and sportsmanship. Certainly looked like something he'd picked up from Spain, from playing in Spain there. But also one of Turkey's players is also under investigation after he was caught making an ultra-nationalist salute. UEFA got plenty on their hands at the moment, but I'd suggest that they take a look at the amount of plastic cups that are getting thrown onto the pitch. It's just becoming ridiculous now. At a corner, players are subject to loads of them raining down. I've picked up a couple and brought them home. They're fairly solid, and if they've got a bit of liquid in them, they can travel at a fair speed. Apparently England have been fined so far a total of €12,500, and 2.5 of that as a fine for throwing objects during the draw with Denmark, and then 10k fine for disturbances during the national anthems ahead of the draw against Slovenia. Seem to remember mentioning about the national anthems and the booing against Serbia in the opening game. But back to the game. I'm fed up with trying to predict which England will turn up. I sincerely hope that Slovakia game gave them a kick up the arse and showed them just how close they were to throwing it all away. But I just can't be sure now. Really don't know. Okay, that's work done for the morning. Off we go again. Once again, I'm joining Dean Cornish on his coach across the channel. I got myself to Potter's Bar, and as I've got time to kill, I thought I'd take a stroll to South Mims, where the coach is picking up from once again. I thought it was going to be fairly straightforward, but I found myself taking a stroll through a field where there's a horse muck on the path. Walking aside the M25 next to an electric fence and a field full of solar panels. I think I'm going in the right direction. Of course, it's Switzerland in Dusseldorf in the quarterfinals of Euro 2024. How can you not be excited?
Tickets were bagged on Tuesday morning at a cost of €60 each for fans first. I mentioned that on the previous episode. Beginning of the year, I had to get myself a new passport. Already, it has taken a fine stamping as my passport. Now, I passed through Dusseldorf the other week when I caught a train from there. I think that was for the Cologne. That was when I went to Cologne for the Slovenia game. I think that was. Yeah, it was. I've been to Dusseldorf before. 14 years ago. I actually had my stag do out in Dusseldorf. It was a bit of a lost weekend, I have to be honest. I don't remember a great deal about it, but perhaps that's the way stag do should be, really, isn't it? I'm wondering if I do get back, I'm going to have some flashbacks. I don't think I'm a wanted man from Dusseldorf, or I don't think I'm banned from anywhere or owe anyone any money, but we shall see. No, I'm looking forward to getting in. We should be getting in around 8 a.m. on the overnight coach. So, well, best part of the day to look around the city before the game starts at 6 o'clock. Weather currently in England just can't make its mind up. Raining this morning, turns to drizzle, turns to bright sunshine. Now as I walk through this field, it's now overcast, cloudy, muggy as well. I took a quick look online for the weather or the forecast in Dusseldorf. Appears to be a rainy one tomorrow, which is painful. The idea of having to shelter for the best part of the day really doesn't fill me with joy. Morning. It's 10 to 8, Saturday morning. We've once again been through the night on the coach and arrived in the complex, basically, that is the Dusseldorf Stadium. Currently to my right as we walk at the moment. Massive car park to sort of facilitate everyone around here. I'm just looking at the ground now. It's a strange one. It's sort of like a white mesh around the side of it. I'll get closer to it later, obviously, later on. But yeah, much like the other day in Gelsenkirchen, we're the only ones here. But yeah, the coach got us here, all fine. You hear aeroplanes coming above us. We're literally right under a flight path here, and I think already, after being here 10 minutes, there must have been 5-6 planes overhead. But thankfully, the rain that I mentioned, well, at the moment it's bright and sunny. There has been some rain here because there's a fair few puddles dotted around, but hopefully it's going to be a bright sunny day today. So I found myself in the centre of Dusseldorf now, had a coffee, I'm all ready to go. Already been interviewed on the BBC, which was a nice touch, but I've also been joined by fellow England fans and friends of the show, Canal Sapat and CJ Joyner. CJ, you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Canal, you alright?
Yep, good. Raring to go.
How are we finding it today?
The weather's good, isn't it?
It's a start.
There seems to be a bit of positivity in the air. There wasn't yesterday in the bars we were in with Germany losing. That was I was a little bit. I felt a bit for them, really, to be honest with you. Every German I've spoken to said they wanted us in the final. You know, they said they wanted us to go all the way.
So. A lot of our fans obviously saw that as the dream final as well.
Yeah, and it'd be the same in 4 years as well, wouldn't it?
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll pay them back.
Obviously, you're here prioritising supporting England, but of course, what we know about Block 109. Let's just wait for this tram to go past. We're sitting at a tram stop at the moment. Ideal place to have a chat. But yeah, obviously priority is to watch England, but obviously we know about Block 109 and all the good stuff you do. What have you done so far?
So we've done a few things whilst we've been out here in Germany. We went to a children's hospital in Frankfurt, Children's Cancer Hospital, donated some tablets there, so the children can be in touch with their families and that when they're in hospital. And also we visited Ronald McDonald House in Cologne and made a donation there. We did a similar donation in Ronald McDonald House in Malta last year, so we've kept that going with the one here.
What's the reaction of like the recipients of them? Are they surprised like England fans are doing something like that?
They're grateful for the donations and our input, but yeah, the initial thoughts they wouldn't have expected it. I mean, it's good that they see this other side of England football fans. That we're not just here to go to the football, have a drink, and enjoy the atmosphere. We're here to do that as well as do other good things within the group of England fans. And England fans can be an amazing group of people doing stuff for communities.
Absolutely. Of course, we've mentioned Block 109 before, how you can get involved. Just go search them out on Twitter. You can find out how you can contribute to that. But of course, we are here for the football. Switzerland and in Dusseldorf today. Immediate thoughts, CJ?
Oh, I'm confident, like I have been for every game. But they're a good team.
Yeah.
Best player from the Bundesliga last season, and Xhaka played a big part in Arsenal kind of rising back from where he was as well when he was booed off the pitch 4 or 5 years ago, and he got to the position where he is now, and he's probably in a position where Arsenal actually miss him, despite them finishing top 4 now, quite comfortably.
Second, I might add.
Yeah, second. Yeah, sorry, Russ. Yeah. So I think that, as I said, they're going to be hard to break down. They've got goals in them, but we're more than good enough to do it. More than good enough to beat them. We're more than good enough to beat any team in this tournament. And at some point, given the opportunity, I think we are going to go to town on a team. And you look at the last Euros, we beat Germany 2-0, but we went to town in the quarters, didn't we, against Ukraine.
Ukraine in Rome, yeah.
Yeah, and they're not, back then, they're not as good as what Switzerland are now, but it's that sort of team, isn't it? That sort of like upper mid-card, lower upper card team that, we could really go to town on them potentially. But as I said, they're hard nut to crack.
Similar thoughts, Canal?
I think, it'll be a tough game, but we can do it. As long as we don't sit back and we start early, get going, carry on the momentum from the win last week when we left it late, but hopefully we can start off early. Start early, get an early goal, and hopefully not leave us tense and nervous for the whole 90 minutes.
No extra time, no pennies.
No, we can't take any extra time with penalties.
Absolutely not. Right, we're actually waiting for a tram to take us to we're going for a Dutch brunch, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a Dutch brunch. One of our group somehow managed to find it. It's kind of, I went to book it yesterday. It's in the middle of an industrial estate type place that it looks like, when you enter there, it looks like the sort of place where Phil Mitchell takes somebody in the back of a van. But it's, it looks really nice. Food looks good, and it smelled good when I was in there. So it's something to look forward to. Yeah.
Well, we'll report back later. Cheers, guys.
England's going.
So I've decided to take a stroll to the ground, like many other people, it would appear. It takes about an hour, 45 minutes, I think, to get there. I've given myself plenty of time. Just walking under one of the main bridges over the Rhine at the moment. Walking aside the Rhine, it's to my left. It's just as I did in Cologne. It's such a fast-flowing river. There's a guy out there in a little, I think that's what they call a topper, little sailing boat. And he's just fighting against the current. But they've got these massive barges going up and down the river, containers on them, huge. I say about the current, the weather at the moment, it's just turned properly breezy. It's tried to start to rain, but it's just more breezy at the moment. Managed to get myself a Podolski's kebab. If you don't know, Lucas Podolski, you must know Lucas Podolski, German international, played for Arsenal. Well, I think he's still playing somewhere. He owns a chain of kebab shops across Germany, and especially across this region. I meant to have one I saw one of his kebab shops in Cologne, but it was far too hot to have a kebab that day. So I managed to hit one today. I think about €8.50 for a pot of chips and kebab, and safe to say I am full. I don't need to eat. I don't need to eat for the rest of today. I probably won't need to eat for tomorrow. There's a kebab shop where I live called Crystals. It's put that to shame. It's given an 11 out of 10. It was superb. So that was a mission accomplished. Free lions as well, got one of those. But yeah, there are loads of people just taking the walk to the stadium. Went down a street earlier, and there were just thousands of England fans. And I mean thousands. There was bars either side. Not ashamed to say I did feel quite claustrophobic, but there's some good sing-songs going on there. I need to watch out here because there's cyclists coming from all ways. Right, let's see how long it takes to get to the ground from here. So this idea I had of leisurely walking along the Rhine to the ground, thinking it might be similar to, I don't know, walking along the Thames as if I was going to Fulham. Has had to have taken a quick rain check because it's absolutely hammering it down now. People sort of left out in the open. I'm kind of just dodged underneath a tree here, just hoping that it'll pass, but I don't know. I can't even see the ground yet, but it certainly is this way. Walking past the yacht club now, of all the things I didn't expect to see. I've got to be honest, I think Dusseldorf is possibly my most favourite city so far I've seen. Most well-organised one, put it that way, or most fan-friendly, despite the fact that the ground, again, is a fair stroll away. So door-to-door, or from the city to the outside of the stadium, has taken me about 50 minutes walk, and that includes getting held up in all the Swiss fans, to be honest. I can just see the stadium now. I'll explain it in a minute, but you may have seen what I posted on Twitter during the week, where England have actually played here twice in Dusseldorf before. Not too good, to be fair. Firstly, in a friendly with West Germany in 1987, and the following year we played in Euro 88. We played the Netherlands. Both occasions we lost 3-1. Back then it was a stadium that was sort of an athletics ground, had a running track, and it was covered on sort of three sides. It had an empty open end behind the goal. As I look back on some old photos, it was known as the Rheinstadion back then, but in 2002 they demolished it, they pulled it down and constructed on the same site the stadium that I can see at the moment, opening in 2004. It's known as the Merkur-Spiel Arena, and it's home of Fortuna Dusseldorf. Someone had previously said when they'd been here before for a previous game that it looks like an Amazon warehouse from the outside. And to be fair, they're not wrong. It is a rectangular box type affair with what looks like a white mesh all surrounding it. You can see through the mesh, you can see into like the innards of the stadium, but it's got, again, Euro 2024 branded, printed up on this mesh on the outside, so you can only assume that they've had to put that up as the Bundesliga season has ended, and then the Euros have started. I don't know how much mesh they've put up there. meterage, mileage. It's massive. I'll get a closer look when we go into the gate that I'm just about to go into now, the North Gate. So up close, it's not even a mesh. They're like tiny little, almost pipes that surround the external stadium. They're like aluminium pipes that just are placed next to each other and reach as high as the sky. It's really bizarre, but I can see what the I guess what the architect was trying to achieve now. It's not a mesh at all. I like it. So in the past we've spoken with Marco up in Hamburg, who's a German England fan. I found another one here. Hello there, mate. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Mannheim, which is like 30 minutes from Frankfurt.
So how far is that from here?
Or it took me like, it's just 2 hours by train.
Okay, that's not too bad. You used to be in the England Travel Club, apparently. Is that right?
Yeah, it's correct. I was there for for the World Championship in Qatar. Yeah.
So, come on, explain to me, what is your preference of England over Germany? I'm sure people ask you all the time.
Yeah, they ask me all the time. Or I would say, firstly, because I'm supporting Chelsea.
Okay. Each their own.
Yeah, so I have to do a lot with English people, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't really like the German national team because, first of all, I don't know, how can I say? My family is, for example, my father is supporting Hertha Berlin, and he always teaches me to not like German national team because they're full of Bayern Munich players.
Right.
I mean, nowadays they're full of Bayer Leverkusen or Stuttgart players, but still, I don't have any relationship to the national team of Germany.
So we're talking after Germany got knocked out last night.
Yeah.
What did you feel? Did you feel anything?
I feel pleased. Yeah.
Oh, and what, your dad?
He was happy as well. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right then. So Switzerland today. What are your thoughts? And looking back on the previous games.
All right. To be fair, I have to say I expected more so far. Yeah.
Didn't we all?
Yeah. But I'm sure the team got the quality, right?
Yeah.
To win the tournament as well. So I'm pretty sure there will be a time to make click. And I think it could be today, so I'm confident England will win.
I like your confidence. Eric, thank you very much. And all the best. Continue to support England.
Yeah.
So I'm inside the ground now. I'm hoping that this comes out because the music inside is incredibly loud. I have to say, I think this is probably the tidiest ground that I've been to. Cleanest as well inside. It just feels smart, clean, straight edges, fine edges, all around. The seats are different coloured. They're multi-coloured metal seats that just fold down. There's a massive patch of red seats on the right-hand side, just above the dugouts. All around the rest of the stadium, there's sort of metal flap-down seats that are multicoloured, blue, grey, red, yellows. It's two-tiered all the way around with the exec boxes in the middle row. And I am 4 rows from the front on the corner flag. There are a lot of Swiss fans. I found there was a lot of Swiss fans coming into the ground, got caught up in amongst them, and already there's a large contingent of Swiss in their section. Now today is actually Gareth Southgate's 100th game in charge of the England national team, along with Steve Holland. Who would have thought that all those years ago, 2016 when he took charge against Malta at Wembley, that 2-0 victory, that after he was drafted in, after the Sam Allardyce debacle. I know there's people who aren't happy with him, who would rather see him out, but we are where we are. I'm going to support him whilst he is still in charge. Who knows He may have 2 more games left in him. He may go up to 102. But we all know his record. Russia semi-final, the Euros final, a Qatar quarter-final. Here we are against Switzerland today, Euro 2024 quarter-finals. As we do, let's take a look around. What flags we got? Port Vale, Norwich there, Nottingham Forest, Southampton, Barnsley. A Barnsley one there, the old Union flag one rather than the St George's Cross, which is always nice to see. There's an Arsenal one up there. One thing with flags, and you may have seen this, and I've been the victim of it as well, many of them get stolen. My one got stolen back in 2010. It was in Cape Town against Algeria. As if that game wasn't depressing enough. I had it hung from the upper tier, and when the end of the game happened, or when the end of full time, yeah, my flag was gone. It had been taken. I had a friend of mine who'd passed away. Unfortunately, yeah, it was taken, and it's been happening in this tournament as well. I've seen the Free Lions Pride flag that was taken. There was an England flag with Borussia Dortmund on it. That was taken, and then you tend to see these flags held upside down by ultras, as it were, on Twitter, which is incredibly frustrating. I mean, these flags, they're not cheap. Made by the likes of Barmy Flags, they can cost a fair whack. You're looking at 3 figures, £250, £300 for all the stitching and everything that goes into it. So it's these flags mean a lot to people. So when they go missing, it's understandable when people get upset and frustrated. So we have a team that's in. Of course, the enforced change was Gay being out. We've got a starting lineup of Pickford, Walker, Rice, Stones, Saka, Kane, Bellingham, Foden, Trippier. Here's the change. Konsa comes in, and we've got Mainu. So it looks like we're playing a back 3 with the wing backs being Saka and Trippier. It looks like we've got Bellingham and Foden sitting behind Kane. We shall see if this is going to be enough.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of England. Ladies and gentlemen, the half-time scorers, England 0, Switzerland.
Half-time 0-0. To be fair, neither goalkeeper had a great deal to do, but it's encouraging to see us go forward. We seem to be playing with more verve going forward. Sort of, it's almost like just let the handbrake off a little bit. Ezri Konsa, who's been replaced by Mark Gay, settled in, no problems whatsoever. More than happy there. He seems comfortable. We got a couple of occasions early on. They found a few holes, few pockets, but nothing came of it. Likewise, when we went up the other end, didn't really make anything of it. Second half, England will be attacking the goal. We're behind, and obviously vice versa. The Swiss, they'll be they'll be attacking their end. But at the moment, there's not a great deal in it. But it's the positive to take is we are playing better than we have done so far. Maybe bar that first half in Serbia, against Serbia.
It's the Swiss having all the noise, all the possession at the moment. Just not really testing us, but it's all in the other half of the field at the moment. The Swiss making themselves heard. The England fans respond with the great escape. Swiss make the first changes on the hour. Ball across the face of the goal. Ball across the face of the goal, and he's just slid in. Now the subs are happening. Swiss are jumping up and down. Their end is going. Replaying it. It's John Stones has taken a deflection. John Stones deflected it, and the fella's just slid in, put it in. Come on, boys. That's Saka who's rifled that in. We're waiting. Saka's rifled that in. In off the post, that's marvellous, that's superb. Yes! Come on! Come on! Come on, England! Wow, like Spain, Germany, like France, Portugal. Third game in the quarter-finals goes to extra time. Like our game in the round of 16 against Slovakia, extra time again. What a half. Switzerland took the lead. I thought we were gonna struggle there. We had to get back into it quickly, and that's what we did. People were criticising. I was criticising Southgate. People around me were criticising him for not making the changes earlier, but he made the changes. Saka's goal. Right, Saka picked it up right in front of us, right in front of where I'm standing. Rifled it in, and for a moment it just felt like everything stopped, and then it just erupted. Unbelievable. What a goal. What a goal. Can we do the same as what we did against Slovakia? Early goal to get us going. Half time, extra time, still 1-1. Can't help but think back to Guimaraes. Third, fourth place playoff there in the Nations League. That went to penalties. That was a hot day. That was a boring game. There's more at stake today. That game ended in penalties. I don't want to think about that just yet. There we go. Couldn't be separated. Penalties it is. They're going to be down our end. Genuinely don't know how I feel. Shaking is how I feel. So I mentioned the last time that we had a penalty shootout against Switzerland. Pickford took one, scored it, saved the next one. Is this Palmer to scoop? Palmer to take first. Come on, Palmer. Here we go. Yeah! Here we go, 1-0. Jude steps up. Go on, Jude. In we go. 3, 4 steps to the side. Deep breath. Someone's throwing a cup on the pitch. Hickford picks it off. 2-1. You can't help but cast your mind back. Go on, Saka. Go on. Yeah! Yes! Rolls it in. 3-1. Tony steps up. Remember, he scored against Belgium. Scored against Belgium at Wembley. It's to make it 4-2. Penalty king, isn't he? Tucked it in. Tucked it in, he's sent him the wrong way. Go on, Trent! Go on, Trent! This is it. Score, we're through. Go on, Trent! Come on, couple of steps back. I can't believe it. Through on penalties. Let's have a chat with a few England fans. Paul Dennis is with me. Paul, go on. Your first reactions.
Difficult to put that into words. You can tell that I've lost my voice really from the celebrations after that. Just a huge relief off the weight off the shoulders for the whole team, Gareth Southgate, all the fans. The party continues. We're on to onwards to Dortmund on Wednesday. Delighted for all the players, Gareth, obviously, all the supporters that have put in monumental effort. Getting here, getting around Germany, back and forth, hundreds and even thousands of miles probably throughout this course of this tournament. So I'm absolutely delighted for them. Can't put it into words how happy I am right now. Really, really happy for everyone involved. Come on, England.
Come on, England. So I've got a young Eli here who's been on the coach. Go on, tell us how you feel.
I feel amazing, but Gareth Southgate might need to do better if we face Netherlands in the next game. And our defence was amazing until we conceded, and that's why we just broke down. And then Saka saved the day, obviously.
Can we go further?
Yeah, we can reach the final.
We're going to reach the final. Are we going to do it?
Don't know.
No, we'll ask you next time. We've got Dean Cornish as well.
Absolutely superb, mate. Absolutely love that. Saka, I have to say, we were saying that Saka should be taken off.
Yeah.
Saying that he was creating absolutely nothing. And he actually got the ball and he cut inside again for about the 15th time. And like, don't cut. And then suddenly it was just nestled in the bottom corner. And it was absolutely amazing. Just what scenes when that equaliser went in. Fantastic. And then, of course, you go to penalties. And actually, do you know what? I actually felt confident with us on penalties. I think Southgate's got us doing things that we never did 10 years ago, like winning penalty shootouts. Obviously we won against Colombia, we won against Switzerland before in the Nations League, and then I felt confident. Each penalty taker walked up, looked absolutely solid and banged their penalty away. Fantastic. Pickford obviously saved the first one as well of theirs. Just brilliant into the semi-finals.
Here we go. Put it into words.
I can't. No, that is compared to that game against Iceland in 2016,
yeah.
Even Colombia after that, you are stood there and I still... I can't...
Don't go too far, don't go too far.
I can't put it into words. You stand there...
All right, mate, you're all right.
And when Saka walks up, I thought, it's a little bit of redemption, and he looked quite confident.
Yeah, that was a big weight on it off his shoulders.
When he's buried it, you could see when he come over... and even Alexander-Arnold, I've got nothing against any Scouser, but for a lad that plays for Liverpool, I genuinely think he loves England.
Yeah.
Like the Serbia game, he come over, and after he's buried that penalty,
people don't know what to put it into words, do they?
With this guy and his little boy, like you can't buy that. I'm on a video call to my boys, but for your lad to be here, it's just unbelievable. What a happy coach home. What a
Happy coach home. What's your name?
Lucas.
Where are you from, Lucas?
I'm from Rugby.
How did you feel about that? I spoke to you earlier. This was your first England tournament game, wasn't it?
Yep.
Put that into words, if you can.
It was absolutely amazing. Really good. Penalty shootouts amazing. First half amazing. Second half good.
You can tell all your pals at school that you were there and you saw it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that.
Be properly jealous of you.
Mal from Bristol, great to get that win and great to be in the semi-final to face the Netherlands. England throughout most of the game were very good defensively and through organisation. The attack was an improvement as well, especially through Bukayo Saka. Could have seen a little bit better, but hopefully we'll see our best cut the semi-final. And there's some very good penalties, huge edits to the guys, and we'll take it.
Thanks to Matt there. And also you heard Eli and Lucas, two young boys who were on the coach with us. They were out with their dads. I loved seeing that. It was really nice. My dad wasn't really into football when I was their age. He likes it now. But I kind of looked on sort of through their eyes enviously. Those are memories that they'll have for life. That's really, really nice to see. So we know our opponents for Wednesday. It is the Netherlands after their 2-1 victory against Turkey. And personally, I have to say, I would rather play the Dutch than the Turks. And sadly, that's for non-footballing reasons. You can go back and take a look through the history books and you may understand how I feel about that. But that's taking nothing away from the Dutch, because I'm 100% sure they will give us a game. But by playing them, it just takes away a possible element of trouble that I sort of alluded to away. But yeah, that's my feelings on that. Now, the last time we played the Dutch was in the Nations League final of 2019. Back then, I spoke with Dutch football expert James Rowe. James is an Englishman living in the Netherlands. He's got great knowledge, and I'm delighted to say he joins me again. James, hello there.
Hello, Russell. Lovely to speak to you again.
Likewise.
It's very, very interesting how the football gods work. They kind of pair people back again, and really, really looking forward to a seminal moment on Wednesday, and I'm really looking forward to a very interesting day, and it should be a great game too.
Yeah, England against the Dutch, England against the Netherlands, England against Holland. What's the correct terminology?
The Netherlands is the correct terminology, because if you say Holland, there are different regions in the Netherlands: Friesland, North Holland, South Holland, and Holland refers to the region. So, for example, I live in Amsterdam, North Holland. That's where I live. So, for example, Eindhoven, South Holland. So it's just the differences there. So someone from outside, which says refers to Holland, they might not know that when they say it in that way, they're referring to the region and not to the country.
Gotcha. I love speaking with people who are abroad. You learn something new every day, and I'm always glad when I bring something like that to the podcast. The Netherlands, they beat Turkey the other night 2-1. They were 1-0 down. 2-1 up. I'll be honest, I didn't see the game. I was travelling home. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Well, first and foremost, it was the country's quite surprised they've got this far, and ahead of the Euros. This is Koeman's first major tournament. As in his first spell, he left to go and manage his dream club of Barcelona. He actually had a clause inserted in his contract first time round that if Barcelona come in for me, I can leave, and that's what he did. So this is his first major tournament, and he himself last night said that nobody expected us to get this far. But on the eve of the tournament, it was more hope than expectation. The midfield had been decimated with Martin de Roon, Frenkie de Jong, and also Teun Koopmeiners not being available, because in theory that's their first choice midfield in theory. And they've done well with the players they've managed to to select. I think Yodi Schouten had a great tournament. Denzel Dumfries, ever since his days at Sparta Rotterdam, I've known of him. And the fact that Matthijs de Ligt can't get a game tells you all you need to know. But they were very excited to play the quarter-final. You know, they were saying it's our first potential semi-final for the first time in 20 years. They've reached the semi-final for the 6th time in their history, and in a European Championship. So they're very excited about that, and they hope to go back one step further. And it will be very interesting for me as well. It's the first time in the 18 years that I've been living here that we play one another in a European Championship or a World Cup. And we spoke during the Nations League, but that was also a bit of an abnormality, whereas this one's for real. And for me, I am still British. I'm still a British passport holder, but it's the first time that they meet in a competitive game of this magnitude. And for me, being an Arsenal fan, hailing from London, to know everything about the opponent, to be able to speak the language of the opponent, to even know the text regarding the national anthem, and to have so much experience here. And my day job is also with the Amsterdam City Council, so it's a privilege in itself. So for me, it's also a seminal journey where they meet, and I want to see first and foremost a great game of football. But I will also want England to win, because it's translated into. From Dutch to English, it translates to "I am what I am," and that is a Londoner. So I'll be wanting England to win.
What have you made of England, especially living in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam there, and people around you saying, "Oh, England have had a ropey start. They must have seen what we've seen."
Well, before the tournament, I had friends and colleagues would say to me, "How on earth can you have so many fantastic players and play in a manner upon which you play? Surely the handbrake can be let go of, and you can go forward." But it's also the Premier League as well is watched worldwide, and people like to think the product that the Premier League is, is and convey that to the national team. But they look and they think we've got so many good players, so much quality there. The players that didn't go, Ben Chilwell, James Maddison, Jack Grealish, they England were the favourites for the tournament, and well respected as well. And this is my umpteenth major tournament. I must say to listeners as well, the first major tournament I had living here in 2006, but that crept up on me because I was so busy with you're building a life, you're attending Dutch classes, you're going to your place of work, you're building a life abroad, and then all of a sudden it hit me. I was a World Cup here. I was the World Cup coming in Germany of all places, and the Netherlands was knocked out by Portugal in what they call the Battle of Nuremberg when they lost to Portugal, and it's going to be the first time that they play each other in all my time here. It's only going to be the fourth time, that England play the Netherlands, and it currently reads 1-1 each, drew, and the fourth will be on Wednesday night. So it's going to be very exciting indeed.
I've no doubt as the game gets ever closer, the famous game in Euro 96 will be brought up and replayed, and the highlights will be shown left, right and centre. And I guess that's the game where England, Euro 96, where football began to come home, or we hoped it would come home. Yeah, that's the one I think is going to be remembered. But what is the feeling with the Dutch people? Are they getting excited?
They are. They think they've got a great chance to reach the final. Pierre van Hooijdonk, who was an analyst along with Rafael van der Vaart yesterday at the ground in Berlin, he was saying that the final four, this is what you want. Spain against France, England against the Netherlands. This is what you want in a European Championship. And you mentioned about the highlights of Euro 96 from a Dutch point of view. I think they'll be showing highlights of Euro 88, where they met England in the group phase, and a certain Marco van Basten, who's an analyst these days, and he's absolutely brilliant.
Is he?
He's just so clever. But I mean, there is a show here called Rondo, a football-related show on Ziggo Sports, where they will sometimes have on one analyst panel, they'll have Ruud Gullit, sitting next to Van Basten, sitting across from Hasidic. So it's literally fill your boots. And if I could just tell a quick story about Ruud. We were on the same flight to Lyon for the Europa League final from Amsterdam to Lyon. Okay. And when we landed at Lyon, he was being mobbed by everybody. Oh, Ruud, can I have a selfie? Oh, my brother, you're his hero, and everybody wouldn't leave him alone. And then he had that one moment, and I just walked up to him. I shook his hand and greeted him in his mother tongue and wished him a great game and safe travels. Upon which he returned the sentiment to me, which means an awful lot more than any selfie. To be able to say to Ruud in his mother tongue, I hope you have a great game and safe travels. And then for him to say the same to me was very special. And with Van Basten as well, there's a little anecdote I've got as well. A friend of mine was getting his second corona jab.
Oh, right.
And in front of him was Marco Van Basten, and they have a mutual friend. And my friend said to Marco, he said, Marco, I'm not sure if you know, but my friend James interviews Dutch football managers and Dutch football players in their mother tongue. His recent interview was with Brian Roy, and I just wanted to ask if you'd be interested. And Marco apparently said, well, it sounds really, really good what James has done, to interview Dutch players in their mother tongue, especially hailing from Great Britain. He said, but at the minute, I'm not doing any interviews of any sort, but I wish him well. So, I'm just pleased that both of them, I've had, met one, and another one is known who I am. So that's also nice. But still really pleased to, be able to have such a stand within Dutch football, to be able to interview Dutch players and managers in their mother tongue. Because when I first started doing the interviews for Football Arena, and I would do the translation of the press conferences, in the first instance, it was more curiosity of players, that there's a British guy that wants to interview me in my mother tongue. Yeah. How good is he? And then towards the end, when I was writing for the Secret Footballer website, it would be, it's James, is it? I'll speak to him on Tuesday. So it just goes to show the journey. But again, British people get a bad rap for speaking foreign languages. We're not all the same. I just remain humble. It's been great to, especially with this game coming up, to speak to you. And we're supposed to be on TalkSport today, but there was some confusion regarding the deadline. So maybe I'll speak to them in the coming days. But great to speak to yourself, and looking forward to a great game.
Yeah, no, you're fully in demand, James, and I appreciate your time chatting to us here and just giving us the feeling from the Netherlands.
Yeah, very good, very good. As I say, it's important to always educate football fans as well, because we are an intelligent bunch. People will tell us we're not, but we are, and we do it. We do understand the game as well, and it should be a great game. And I'll be supporting England and wanting them to do well, and looking forward to what should be a great night. Are we going to finish off with a prediction, do you reckon?
Why not? Go on.
Well, considering how I've literally got a leg in both camps, and having lived almost half of my life in each, I'm going to say that maybe it's going to sound a bit selfish or a bit strange, but I'm going to go for penalties. I think England will win on penalties.
I don't think I can go through that again.
No, I know you're very tired after your efforts for Switzerland, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and I think England will win on penalties.
We shall see. I'm genuinely hoping we get the job done in 90 minutes. But we all know the game. We all know it can turn various corners. It can go down avenues we didn't even think of. So who knows what can happen. James, as I say, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciated.
You're more than welcome. Lovely to speak to you again. And lovely to be back on the platform. It really is. I'm not just saying it because we're friends and we speak, but it is the greatest England podcast that there is. So be very proud of it.
Thank you very much to James Rowe there for his very kind comments, and also for his insight into Dutch football and the feeling over there in the Netherlands. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed it. We go again. Another European Championship semi-final, 1996 against Germany. We know how that ended. 2020 against Denmark. We know how that one ended. The Dutch stand in our way, this coming Wednesday in Dortmund. I will be making my way there very soon. Looking forward to it. Maybe I'll see you out there. Thank you very much for all your kind comments that you've sent my way. Hey, even if I bumped into you over in Dusseldorf, great to say hello. Really enjoyed meeting you, either in the ground, on the coach, wherever. We go again. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves. Cheers.